The marine animals that are seen in aquariums and fish tanks are starting to live better lives than the animals living in the ocean. Aquariums keep fish as healthy as they can and feed the animals clean food. However, as the ocean pollution continues to get worse, animals' health is starting to diminish. The majority of the pollution is materials that are almost impossible to retrieve out of the water. According to The Economist, the most common microscopic pollution is the plastic fibers and beads. With the effort of people in preventing pollution in the ocean, marine pollution could decrease drastically. As humans shop and buy things at markets and grocery stores, a lot of the items that are being bought are wrapped individually and then put into plastic bags, which is more convenient to people. However, when the plastic is not recycled and is thrown into the trash, a dump truck picks up the plastic bags, wrappers, and containers and puts it into a landfill. Since landfills are so large, the wind is able to pick up the plastic products and blow it hundreds of miles over short periods of time. This is how a lot of the plastic pollution in the United States gets into the ocean. Plastic is not biodegradable, so it sits in the water looking like food to hungry marine animals, who are starting to lose food sources due to pollution. Dolphins are the most common animals that are found to have plastic bags in their stomach. One of the dolphin's main prey is a jellyfish, which can be resembled by a plastic bag floating in the water. Similar to the plastic bags, there are other plastic products that are also affecting the marine ecosystem. Plastic coffee cups, drinking bottles, and sweet wrappers are an example of one-time use plastic products. For example, Starbucks uses one-time use plastic cups and straws. Although they do sell reusable cups, they are sold for a much higher price, which people do not want to spend money on. These cups and straws are thrown away similar to the plastic bags and they are not recycled. The same cycle is completed with these plastic products and they end up in the ocean. The products are in a salt water. When with the sun shining on them, they break up into smaller pieces, which is not decaying. These smaller pieces, or microplastics, are eaten and breathed in by fish. The bigger plastic pieces also have a greater chance of being eaten by a seal or other marine animals. Fishing boats also contribute to a lot of sea pollution that isn't talked about as often. Fishermen and boats that roam the water searching for sea animals to sell are also known to accidentally drop materials into the water. Pots, traps, and other gear needed to live on the sea have been found floating in the ocean, waiting to be eaten. Fishermen also have the chance to lose their nets that are used to catch animals sitting on the bottom of the ocean. Using certain types of nets that aren't certified can catch animals in the holes of the nets. Sea turtles and sharks are common animals that get stuck in these nets. Fishermen bring up the net every few times without their chips, and many animals end up dying caught in the net. Fishing lines are also uncommon to find stranded in the water after being snapped or cut. These have the possibility to get stuck around the fins of animals, causing harm. Another pollution common in oceans around the world are oil spills. Oil sticks to animals that swim through it and prevents them from swimming or flying to their full extent. Oil spills are very hard to clean up because stopping a spill under the water takes time and research to find where the pipes broke, and the oil in the water is hard to separate and collect from the ocean water. In a research, it was found that 20 out of 192 countries, which is equivalent to 10% with coastlines, contribute to 83% of the plastic that ends up in the ocean. The majority of the major contributors to the plastic pollution are developing third world countries that do not have a solid system of waste management to remove waste effectively and carefully. The most influential countries that fit this description would be Indonesia, China, and the Philippines. With the lack of management, these countries are polluting the oceans more predominantly. Another recent study states that more than a quarter of the waste is coming out of only 10 rivers, of which 8 of them are in Asia. The Yangtze River, found in Asia, is estimated to dump approximately 1.5 million tons of plastic pollution into the Yellow Sea each year. Although cleaning the ocean of pollution is near to impossible, it is very possible for humans to control what can end up in the ocean. Everything starts with what the consumer buys and how they dispose of the products. As the materials get into the ocean, currents and waves carry the pollutant hundreds and thousands of miles to completely different places, or they will always remain at sea. On the journey, plastic breaks down into microfibers and decomposable products decompose under the sun, which makes the products practically impossible to retrieve. Consumers also continue to buy things that will not decay. Micromaterials are added to face washes and toothpaste that are not decomposable. Educating customers in what they are buying and what is contained in their everyday products could help reduce pollution drastically. Many countries have taken extreme measurements to prevent pollution, mainly plastic, in the ocean. The reason plastic pollution is more of a concern is because plastic doesn't decay. Bangladesh and France have gone very far and banned plastic bags altogether. Using a plastic bag in Kenya could result in a $40,000 fine or 4 years in prison. China has increased the cost of products coming in that contain plastic that would be used as a waste. 9 European nations made the decision to get rid of landfills, which contributes to pollution a lot. The removal of landfills has increased the materials that are recycled, which are now either being used as energy or just being recycled. New organizations have been started to help save animals in the water that are being affected by the pollution firsthand. The Four Ocean Project was formed to help remove layers of pollution that have gathered in certain areas of the ocean. 80% of the profit made from the bracelets go to paying for plastic pollutants being removed. The bracelets are made from recycled plastic and string. Supporting this project could help reduce a lot of microplastics that could be going into oceans because of these plastic layers. The Trash Free Sea Alliance is an example of an understanding of the danger pollution could cause to the oceans. This organization helps create new and efficient ways for countries to improve on eliminating ocean waste. The 2016 Olympics was the first time the United States had truly seen what polluted water could contain and how it could affect people around it. Athletes were competing in venues that had harmful viruses and bacteria to which they would cause illnesses. Innocent animals are being killed and poisoned due to what humans all around the world are putting into the oceans. 1 in 3 fish caught in Africa contain a form of plastic, and 51 fish species are on the endangered list, nearing extinction due to pollution. Without fish, the whole marine ecosystem is thrown off. Fish are one of the animals at the beginning of the food chain. However, without fish, other animals aren't able to obtain food, and it affects the whole food chain. Supporting companies that help remove large amounts of plastic will help remove microplastics that kill thousands of fish each year. The most important thing anyone can do to improve the pollution that is entering the ocean is to educate themselves and their friends of the products that don't decompose. Avoiding as much of these products will help tremendously. If refraining from these products is too hard, recycling is just as important. Reusing the plastics will benefit the sea animals, and maybe one day in the future, animals living in the ocean will live a life as clean and healthy as the animals in aquariums.